D-Lee family and friends, thank you for being tuned in. Today I wanted to talk about mental health, man. Mental health with our people. I feel like a lot of people are struggling right now. I feel like our people have been struggling for a long time with mental health, but we ignore it. We ignore it for whatever reasons, right? A lot of us grew up with, it's not real, or it's a luxury, or um, you got to be stronger than that just to deal with it. And I'm just seeing a lot of my friends, family members, just society, right? People are really struggling with mental health, especially our people. And I feel like we ignoring it, right? I feel like a lot of the mental health, I ain't gonna say a lot, but I would say a good portion of the mental health comes from a lot of trauma, right? A lot of our people have struggled with trauma, how to deal with trauma, being born and raised in trauma, and don't know how to, shake it loose, how to move forward. A lot of people are just stressed out. The economy is bad. Not even the economy, just life. Life is life, and is what they say. Life is life. And I feel like mental health is just a huge issue. And the questions become, how do you help the loved ones, right? A lot of us don't want to take away the right to the loved ones, but we don't know how to support them. We don't want them to harm themselves. We don't make the situation worse, but we don't know what to do. They won't receive help. They won't ask for help. Um, it's everyone else, right? It's everyone else. It's not them. And it just becomes a difficult situation. The things that they say is everyone else. They can't explain it, or it seems weird, and it's just really hard. And you would think like I would be an expert in this, right? I've worked in a lot of different institutions and companies where mental health was a topic, right? Dealt with my own, mental health things as far as depression and being down, as we all have. I feel like everyone has experienced mental health, but honestly, how do we really help our loved ones, right? When it's your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, when you got your siblings asking, what do we do? How do we help? When it's your cousins or uncles and nephews, I'm just getting overwhelmed, so many calls and texts. And the real issue is what our community is that when people have it, they don't want the support. They don't want to help. One of my mentors back in the day, she used to say, "Help isn't helpful unless it's helpful." Or no, I might have said it wrong. She used to say, "Help isn't help unless it's helpful." That's what she used to say. Help isn't help unless it's helpful. And basically, what it means is, if the person doesn't want the help, if they're not willing to receive the help, then it's not going to be helpful. But how do you ignore them though? How do your loved ones, how do you allow them to have these different struggles and barriers, knowing that it's mental health that is hindering them for them being a normal self, or reaching their full potential, or being the person that you always know? It's difficult when like you're not the person that you used to be, not because you've elevated or you got better, but something has switched, something has triggered. You know, I looked at one of my friends, strong, real smart, educated, head of his time, a great thinker, and I seen the shift, right? I seen the shift of the mental health. He went from very strategic and organized and very thoughtful and thinking to overdoing everything, being very extreme, being very wild. Um, I would say, luckily for him, he was able to identify with mental health, and he was dealing with some trauma, and he was able to get the help. But some other people that I see when they're dealing with their family and friends and loved ones, those individuals don't see it as an issue. And I guess I'm making this video or blog really to just really ask, how do we help our people? How do we help our community? The first thing is, how do we have our community identify mental health is a real thing? And then not only identify that mental health is a real thing, but have them identify that they may be experiencing trauma. They may be experiencing mental health within themselves. That the things that they're saying, they're seeing, or experiencing may not be real. Um, the emotions are real. How they feel is real, but their perception may be altered. How do you have those conversations? How do you get those individuals to see that they may need help? And then what makes it hard in our community is they use religion or the Bible. And my struggle with that is God creates everything, but God also creates doctors, right? And so they use the Bible, to not receive the help that they need. They use the Bible to not, really check on themselves. And it's kind of hard to argue with them because it's like, you'll go see the doctor for your physical health and you feel like that's okay, but you won't go to a doctor for your mental health. And they won't even go talk to people that they entrust or people that they feel like are older, that have wisdom. They won't go talk to them about it. They keep everything internal. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with grief, right? Because grief is internal and you got too much grief and being sad for so long, that turns into the depression, right? So how do you deal with it? And it's hard because society is constantly moving and pushing and people don't know what direction to go forward. And everyone is always putting themselves up against where they feel like they should be or what they should be doing. Or maybe it's not even that. Sometimes people are just doing everything in their power to help everyone else instead of help themselves. I heard that cliche thing today, but it's so powerful where, you get on a plane and you put the oxygen on yourself. And people hear that and they know what it's about, but they don't implement it into their lives. And it's just not with your mental health. It's with your eating habits. It's with your finances. It's with everything. It's with everything. You got to make sure you're good first before you help people. But we're not wired like that, right? We want to help everyone else. That's kind of how we built. That's kind of how, we're structured. We want to look out for one another. And I think that's a great thing. But I think that in us looking out for other people and giving other people our all and making sure our family, our kids, and everyone else is good, we're forgetting about the most important person, which is ourselves. And that creates the mental health that's triggering the trauma, that's creating the issues. And if you're in this video thinking I'm going to give you some answer solutions, I'm not. Because I think a lot of this trauma, a lot of this mental health that people are experiencing right now and are feeling is rooted. It's rooted. So a lot of that mental health and what everyone is experiencing is rooted down in our psyche, down in our systems. It comes from generation after generation after generation. And I think we have to figure out a way to break it. And I don't think it's no easy answer, So I'm hoping that this video encouraged someone that you can receive help. If your family is expressing to you that they think you may be dealing with some mental health issues or some challenges or some barriers, don't look at it as a weakness. And they could be wrong. It could absolutely be them. They could be wrong. But I would say go get a second opinion. Don't just make the determination on yourself. I pray and I hope that if my family members came to me and say, you're not being yourself, things aren't normal, you're out of place, I pray that I go and get some second opinions from some trusted people who I know will tell me the truth. Don't go to people that's going to tell you what you want to hear. Go to people that'll tell you the truth, regardless if you want to hear it or not. And sometimes you may not have nobody in your circle that you can go to. So sometimes you have to go to somebody who don't know you. And you have to give them what people are saying, and then you have to give them your input and allow them to be the mediator to kind of tell you, to give you an answer of if you should receive help or if you're on the right path. But you got to be non-biased when you're sharing the information with them so they can make the right decision. And like I said, man, this video is just, I just see so many people struggling with mental health. I see so many people struggling with trauma. I see so many people struggling with just generations of things being passed on, and being ignored. And it's really hurting our people, right? And everybody don't know how to deal with it, you know. Everybody not running to substances. They just are, just the inside of who they are dying. They just killing themselves inside because they don't know how to handle it. They're always angry. They're always upset. They don't know how to be their best self. They don't know what their purpose is. They can't move the next day, right? No one, their partners, their friends, their family, no one can motivate them. No one can get them back. They feel like they made so many mistakes that it can't be corrected. Some people are thinking about suicide, or they're thinking about risking it all, or crashing out, or whatever it take, right? They're willing to give up. And you got to we got to figure out a way to help people, young, old, or indifferent. Just as many as young people who don't have the wisdom and are willing to crash out, that's mental health. But same for the older people who have a lot of experience and who have gave up, it also can be mental health. Also for the people who are middle age, who are thriving or in their career and overstressed, or feel like they are not where they're supposed to be, or feel like they made some wrong decisions, that could be mental health. All these stress and traumas. And I know I'm not being very detailed, but everybody know what trauma is. Everybody know what stress, and everyone deals with it. Everyone's faced with it. Life is up and down, right? But everyone, the way they experience it, they internalize it, is different. And we have to be open to it. We have to be willing to support people in any way it is. But the real question becomes, if they don't want their help and you see them crashing, but it's your loved ones, it's your mother, your father, your uncle, your brother, how do you help them? How do you deal with it? I talk to some people and they say, well, you need to go ahead and institutionalize them until they can get to themselves, right? But it's hard for some people because you know they'll never forgive you, even if they get back to themselves. For other people, it's hopefully it will pray and just wait and see what happens. Other people is a combination of a lot of different things. I don't think there's no right or wrong answer. Each person is individualized, and the course that you take should be individualized. But how do you help people who don't want the help, but you love them the most, right? And I guess one of my friends, I can't remember my voice, is saying, you love people too much. You can't help people if they won't help, let them be, right? And that's easy to say. But when it's your mother, your brother, or your kids, it's not that easy. You don't want to see nobody perish. You don't want to see nobody self-destruct. So how do we fix it? And I think it's not just people here. I think it's our community. You see mental health is on the rise. That's because challenges and struggles and things that we're facing on the rise. And we just got to figure out a way to fix it. So this D-Lee family and friends, man, I don't want to harpen or sadden your day. I don't want anybody to be depressed. I really like to be inspirational, motivational, and have fun. But I think, we just got to really have that talk and have real talks. Not just the cliche answer or just to pray about it without no action. Or I think we just got to have deeper discussions. I can recall someone telling me in a critical time in my life is sometimes God will put you in a situation where he'll help you break your leg so you don't break your neck. And when I heard that was a critical time in my life. It moved me. And I know somebody said, why? It's because something happened critical to me. It was life-changing. And when he came up to me and said, sometimes God help you break your leg so you don't break your neck, it was empowering because at that time, things could have been much worse. And it might not have been my leg. It might have been my life. And so sometimes God puts you in situations to help stop you, to to get you and point you into the direction you need to be. Sometimes those hurdles are things that pause what you got going on so you can go in the direction you need to go. So that way you can make the impact that you want to make. So just sometimes you have to just really sit down and think. Sometimes God is pausing you or putting you through things and challenges to pause you to take a break so you won't end your life or so your life won't be taken for whatever the reason, whatever the situation, right? And if you out there and you keep hearing your family members or people telling you that you got some barriers, some mental health, some challenges, or things ain't quite right, and you don't believe them, but a lot of different people keep telling you that, or they keep saying the things you're saying not quite right, or whatever, something may be off, reach out to somebody that you can trust that's going to give you an honest opinion, an honest assertion. And if you don't have like nobody like that in your life that you could trust, that you could feel like you can honestly believe or listen to, then go to somebody who don't know you. You tell them what your family been saying. You give them your opinion, and then hear out what they say, and then go from there. But mental health is real. Our community, we've been ignoring it for a long time, especially with black men, black women. We've been ignoring it. But I think we have to move beyond that. We see health problems going up. We see mental health problems going up. And we're isolating more, which isn't good. We're saying things like we don't want to be around people. We're loners. None of those things are good. None of those things are good because you're not able to take in different perspectives, different views, and sometimes you get stuck on what you're thinking, and you may believe that those things are absolute, and they're not. So I'm done with my rant, man. D-Lee family and friends. I know this is a different vlog than I normally do, but sometimes we got to talk about what's going on with family and friends. I see things going out. We're going to drop the vlog. D-Lee family and friends. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you know somebody going through something, share it. Please drop a comment and just tell me what you think. Thank you for being tuned in. Peace.